My girlfriend, 22, and I, 24 male, have been together for about 3 years, and I decided around 5 months ago that I wanted to propose. We share a dog and a home, so it seemed the next logical step. She's hugely into jewelry, so I wanted to get her a sentimental ring. Unfortunately, at the end of September, her grandma suddenly passed away, and as my girlfriend was the only granddaughter, Grandma's wedding ring was passed down to my girlfriend. She and her grandma were extremely close, so I decided to ask her mom, her grandma was her dad's mom, if she thought it would be a good idea for me to use one of the diamonds in the ring for my girlfriend's engagement ring. She told me that as much as she loved the idea, she didn't know if my girlfriend would, so she told me to think about it. I couldn't find anything else I liked as much. My girlfriend didn't wear the ring as she worried about losing it, so she kept it in a box in a drawer, making it easy for me to take without her realizing it. It ended up being a beautiful ring, and I thought she'd love the sentiment of it. Well, I proposed. She said yes immediately and was elated until she saw the ring. She told me I'd practically vandalized and ruined the only meaningful thing of her grandmother's that she had, and that I should have asked. I went to her mom for support, but she just kept saying that she warned me that my girlfriend might not like the idea. She said yes to my proposal, but refused to wear the ring, which I think is disrespectful, considering how much money and thought went into it. Am I the idiot? Seriously? You are the idiot. How dense can you be? You destroyed a family heirloom, and you seriously thought she'd love that? You destroyed her one family heirloom because you were too lazy or broke to go buy a diamond yourself. That ring was a final gift from her grandmother. She doesn't have to wear it daily for it to be sentimental, and her grandmother passed away just a few months ago. Jesus, even her mom said no as she wouldn't like it. I'm so shocked girlfriend still wants to marry you after he tried to go to her mommy for backup, no less. The bar for men is so low. OP, you were disrespectful and stole her property and then had it destroyed. But I did it for you, babe, is no excuse. You messed up. Have her grandmother's ring repaired ASAP, then offer to go ring shopping with her for an engagement ring or buy a different diamond or stone for her ring. This was just so close to being a lovely idea. Like, I can see where the idea was, but it was ruined by OP not knowing his future wife enough to know whether or not she would like it. I think the biggest mistake was this was already her ring. He stole something out of her drawer, something she already didn't feel comfortable wearing, altered it, and gave it back to her. If this had been OP's grandmother's ring, if the grandmother had been alive to pass it down to him, maybe the reaction would have been different. But OP's lack of emotional awareness isn't good. Neither is the doubling down after realizing how bad an idea it was. How much money went into it? Dude, OP, you stole a diamond from her to make this ring for her. What did you spend so much on? It didn't benefit her. However, it saved you the money of actually having to pay for your own diamonds instead of stealing your girlfriend's deceased grandmother's to then give back to her like, ta-da, I'm a robber and cheap, and expect her to be anything other than furious. Come on. If I were in your girlfriend's place, I would tell you to fix my grandma's ring, get your money back and pack your stuff. After that, I could never trust you again. Seriously, even if it weren't a sentimental piece he repurposed, if she had a piece of diamond jewelry that she won in a raffle or something and it wasn't her taste, it's still her property. How cheap and tacky to take it without permission and try to re-gift it as an engagement ring. He clearly has no respect for her property or wishes. He better have some other sterling qualities and be amazing in the sack, because I can't understand why she's still willing to marry this dingleberry. Recently, my 19 female, boyfriend 22, has been asking for all kinds of crazy things. All of them make little sense. For example, he told me I'm not allowed to tell him bad news unless I tell him good news first. He told me the other day I shouldn't wear makeup, despite saying I should wear more makeup the day before. He upset me a lot the other day because he said he wouldn't play any video games with me because I'm a girl. Now he regularly plays games with his college friends, 2 of which are girls. When I pointed that out to him, he said it didn't matter. He won't play video games with me because he's my boyfriend. Afterward, he said he was just joking, but at the time he seemed very serious. However, he has been diagnosed with autism, so it wouldn't surprise me if it was meant to be a joke. He says I've had a terrible attitude recently, acting like a bad girlfriend, and have been super passive-aggressive. I think that's why he's acting like that. I don't know if I really have had a bad attitude or have been aggressive or not. I'm not sure about all these requests though. Some of them are upsetting, but 99% of them are just strange and unusual and seemingly have no reason for existing, like telling me not to say words and to say specific words instead, telling me weirdly specific places to put my things when at his house, telling me which way I must lay down in his bed, which way the blanket must go, where I'm allowed to sit down, and what I can drink at his house. He told me that it upsets him when I say okay, and told me to say yes sir from now on. It's all recent and weird, oddly specific stuff. I just don't know what to do. Girl, this man has enough red flags to make the Communist Party jealous. This type of controlling behavior only escalates the longer it goes on and has the real chance of turning abusive. You're 19. Your life just started. Don't waste it with such a tool. This guy's a joke who obviously thinks too much of himself. Just salute him, stomp your foot and say, "Yes, sirree, Bob, your high majesty, fancy pants of the overbloated ego. Right away, sir." And while I'm at it, do you want me to walk away or do you want to? Because I've got better things to do with my life than cater to an idiot with delusions of adequacy. OP, none of this is your fault or your problem. It's his problem. Please save yourself. Create a better future for yourself. Would you please try to go to university? Get a degree. Best of luck. LMAO, where do these dudes find the audacity? 'Cause they always got it. You're young, so maybe you don't have a whole lot of experience with relationships outside of your current boyfriend. But please understand what I and all people are trying to tell you. His behavior is not normal and not part of a healthy relationship. There's no excuse, autism or not. I wouldn't waste my time with someone like him. He thinks he's above you. Why would you want to be in a relationship like that? You can either leave him or learn to stand up for yourself. First, let him know his requests are unreasonable and you are not to be bossed around. My 25 female, sister 27, has severe mental health issues that have made it extraordinarily difficult to function. I've taken care of her since we were kids. Our dad had a stroke when I was 8, and my mom had to look after him until he died 11 years later. Our two brothers, 40 and 42, are much older than us and busy with their jobs and girlfriends, now wives. My family has even given me a nickname, Caregiver Sarah. Sarah is my name. I don't particularly like it, but whatever. My mom is now my sister's primary caregiver, but I'm often called to step in because I know her so well. The terrible thing is, I don't really like my sister. I think I did once, but I've spent so much emotional energy on her over the years that I've just burnt out. To give a flavor of what life has been like with her, she called me at 3 a.m. the night before I was due to have a hugely important interview and told me she was standing on a bridge about to do something stupid. I drove 4 hours to get her and missed the interview. She seduced my boyfriend at my birthday party and shouted for everyone to hear that the only reason I was born was that my mom had a termination that went wrong. She told another boyfriend I cheated on him. I hadn't. She racked up over $10,000 of debt on my credit card in 3 days. I know that none of this is her fault, but all I feel towards her is apathy. It means her actions no longer hurt me. She can be so sweet to me sometimes, but it never lasts. And I've learned not to like or dislike her, just to endure her. I've never told anyone, and our whole family believes that I love her dearly because of how much I've done for her. 2 years ago, I met the love of my life, and we're getting married next year. The truth is, I don't even really want my sister there at all. I can't think of a single event centered on me that hasn't been in some way disrupted by her. I have to invite her, but I want her to just be a regular guest. This also means it'll be easier for my mom to keep an eye on her, because if she's my bridesmaid, I know I'll end up doing it. And I want my bridesmaids to be people I actually love, who love me too, and will make my day easier. My cousins on both sides all had their sisters as bridesmaids, so I'm going against family tradition here. My mom and brothers are shocked and say it's highly damaging to my sister to be rejected like this. One of my brothers says I'm ableist. My mom says she always thought one day when she's too old to take care of my sister, and I've worked for a few years, that I would look after her full time. This was news to me, but now she's not so sure. All this has made me feel bad for my sister, and I'm close to giving in, but if I do, it won't be because I want to. So, looking for honest opinions here. Am I the idiot for not having my sister as my bridesmaid? I'm sure people will be angry with me, but I'm honestly not understanding something here, OP. When you said your sister has severe mental health issues, to the point she needs a caregiver, I pictured someone unable to communicate or unable to meet her own basic personal needs, like knowing how to bathe or eat. Your sister's functional enough to rack up credit card debt, seduce a boyfriend, call you for help when she needs it? Something here isn't adding up. Since your brother threw out the ableist word, I'm going to throw out enablers. Your entire family enables her crap because you're there to do all the hard work. I'm so glad you're getting out, OP. I wish you a lovely wedding and peaceful, happy marriage. Not the idiot. As someone who also deals with mental illness, I've always believed that we can't control whether or not we have a mental illness, but we can certainly control our own actions. Unfortunately, I feel that far too many toxic people use their mental health as a get-out-of-jail card that forces their loved ones to accept their behavior. The fact your family has enabled this your entire life and now takes issues with you setting boundaries is so unfortunate, and I'm sorry they failed you and allowed your sister to do such horrible things to you. I know this is easier said than done, but I would consider cutting out those family members and outright banning them all from the wedding, not as payback, but as a preventative measure. Something tells me your sister will still make your day about her and cause a scene, either at the ceremony or the reception, and your family will let her. My wife and I have a daughter, teen, and a son, young teen. Our daughter told us that she was bi, and we told her that we were happy with anyone she dated. My wife nor I am against the LGBT community. We grew up in a different era, but that doesn't mean we will not support our kids' lifestyles. Her birthday was a week ago, and she introduced her girlfriend to us. Her girlfriend is lovely, and they seem happy. Daughter asked if girlfriend could stay into the evening and watch some movies. Around 11 p.m., I asked my daughter if her girlfriend had a ride home. Daughter says no, and girlfriend is going to spend the night. I told her no, we didn't have any room for her to stay. Girlfriend texted her parents and told me that her father was going to pick her up. The girlfriend's father comes to pick her up, and my daughter starts yelling at me for not letting her girlfriend stay. I told my daughter that I did not feel okay with her girlfriend spending the night, especially in her bedroom. Daughter tells me that it's not a boy and nothing will happen. She storms upstairs to her bedroom and slams the door. My wife and I did speak about the incident further, and she thinks I was a little too harsh on my daughter and her girlfriend. She thinks I could have let her stay as 11 p.m. is very late, and I should have set up a sleeping bag on the couch. Am I the idiot for not letting my daughter's girlfriend spend the night? Not the idiot. You have the exact standard you would if she had asked to have a boyfriend stay over. She's bi, so she's dating a girl. It's logical to apply the same rules as dating a boy. I suppose your wife isn't wrong. She could have slept on the couch. But the fact is your daughter never asked if her girlfriend could stay over until she thought it was too late for her to go home. Actually, it doesn't sound like she asked at all, but instead told you she was staying. Not the idiot. Sleepovers should always be approved by a parent, not sprung on them at 11 p.m. Second, girlfriends and boyfriends spending the night are generally considered differently than a friend sleeping over. That being said, you shouldn't refer to someone's orientation as a lifestyle. My kid's mom, 44, and I, 44 male, broke up 9 years ago because I caught her cheating with my friends in our home with our 4-month-old son sleeping in the next room. And the breakup was hard, especially for the kids, but as parents we did everything possible so that they could be happy. and we decided that we would never tell them the real reason we broke up until they were adults. So for them, we only broke up because it was the best. We always told them that we functioned better separately and that way we could all be happy. But I got tired. I met someone a few years after our breakup, and now we're married and have a 21-month-old girl, and she's pregnant with our second. But my two oldest kids, 19 male and 18 male, refuse to meet their sister. They don't even speak to my wife, 27 female, and never wanted to tell me why. They hate her. And at first when we started dating, it was kind of understandable. My wife is younger and she was the first person I dated after breaking up with their mother. So I decided to give them a few months so they could adjust to the new situation. But those months turned into years, and they never really tried to get to know my wife, and she always said that she was okay with that. So I decided to let it go. But their attitude just got worse, and when our daughter was born, they didn't want to meet her. And I'm not gonna lie, that made me angry, because they were treating her like a stranger just because they didn't like her mom. So for a while, I stopped texting them, since I was always the one who contacted them, and I had no interest in contacting them again. But the other day, my wife was crying, and I asked her what was going on, and she showed me some texts they sent her. She tried to contact them a few weeks ago to fix our relationship, and they just insulted her. They called her names and told her they would never meet that bastard, our daughter, because they hate our daughter as much as they hate my wife. I read the whole thing and was so mad that I called one of them, and we had a fight over those texts. And he said that he hated my wife because his mom told them I cheated on her with my wife, which is a lie. After all, I didn't even know her at the time. So I got mad and told him that he was wrong, and that the cheater was his mother, and that if he didn't believe me, I could show them the papers that I still have from the paternity test that we had to do, because she didn't even know who was the birth father of our youngest son because she cheated for years. He was speechless and just hung up the call. And now maybe I went too far, because I shouldn't have told him that. But I was mad because I love my daughter and my wife, and I don't want anyone to hurt them. She's the sweetest and kindest person I've ever met in my life, and seeing her sad or crying breaks my heart. And that's why I reacted that way. So, am I the idiot for telling him that? Oh, no, not the idiot, 1,000 times over. Your ex crossed a line that should never have been crossed, only to screw you over for no other reason than out of pure spite and/or jealousy. You did the right thing to combat lies with truth. Eventually the truth will win out, but it'll take time. Not the idiot, but dude, understand, you married a 25-year-old when your kids were late teens. They were very freaked out, and it shows that his mother preyed on this to have them hate you and your wife, because she must be furious you up and married a 25-year-old if you married her around the time she got pregnant. Here we see a teen having a stepmother that is 8 years older than him, and it kind of makes sense that his dad would choose the young girl, quote, he's cheating with, other than their mom. Jesus Christ, your wife cheats with your friend in your house. To spare her shame and humiliation with her children, you agree not to tell them why. Despite you doing that, again for her, she then makes you out to be the cheater and sabotages your new relationship and your relationship with your children. Do not fall for her elementary manipulation. You dumped the dead weight, and now you've been a good husband and stood up for the right wife.